Hello everyone, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. In today's session, we look at the daily quiz for 10th of March 2024. Now here I have picked some of the articles from various different newspapers and some very relevant topics. First question, consider the following statements about Ayushman Bharat scheme. Now why Ayushman Bharat? Because this has been an article published in today's Indian Express. Under Ayushman Bharat, top treatments have been related to cardiology, cancer, general surgery, and orthopedics. Now, overall, when it comes to Ayushman Bharat, you know about the scheme and how exactly this scheme has been very, very important with regards to the health insurance being provided to the poor and the needy, especially. So that is where Ayushman Bharat is related to. And now when we look at the data with regards to Ayushman Bharat, this is what has been published in this article, that these are the top treatments that have been taken. And it also has mentioned something about how in the private hospitals also a lot of treatments have been availed by a lot of people under Ayushman Bharat. And here it also talks about how the treatments that are available in private hospitals are fairly costly compared to the government hospitals. Like they can be up to 3 to 4 times, up to 6 times more costly as compared to government hospitals, and how much people in general have spent. So all these data are available and very interesting read in today's Indian Express. Now let's look at the question. Consider the following statements about Ayushman Bharat scheme. First statement, Ayushman Bharat aims to provide health insurance coverage to over 10 crore families, and this is correct, and this is especially for the income groups which are of the lower income groups. The second statement says the scheme provides a health insurance cover of 5 lakh per family per year for secondary and tertiary care hospitalization across public hospitals in India. Now here you have to understand, and this is what the article also highlights, that a lot of people have availed the facilities of Ayushman Bharat in private hospitals as well. So it's not only public hospitals, it's also private hospitals. So across public hospitals is an incomplete information, I would say here. The complete information should have been public and private hospitals in India. So that's why I would not consider to be a correct statement. Third statement says Ayushman Bharat is implemented by National Health Authority under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. This is correct. So correct answer, that's why, will be 1 and 3 only. So correct answer will be C. Moving on, the next question. Which of the following, with the establishment of InSpace, consider the following statements. Now here, when we talk about InSpace, why are we talking about InSpace? Because here again there is one article in today's Indian Express where we talk about all the private launches that have been planned for this year. And that's where this list becomes very crucial for you. This list becomes very crucial for you, especially from the prelims perspective, that these are some of the missions that are to be taken. These are private missions that are to be taken in this year by ISRO. Now, when it comes to all these private launches and private participation, we see that InSpace has played a very, very important role in India in the past couple of years. Since it was established back in 2020, InSpace has been looking towards all the non-governmental private entities and their training, their authorization and their participation in the Indian space sector. And this is something that also helps in the growth of the Indian space sector. So that is where InSpace is playing a big role. So the statements are: first, it acts as an independent nodal agency for the promotion and regulation of private entities in the space sector. This is correct, that this has been established under the Department of Space as an independent nodal agency. So this is a correct statement. Second statement, one of the primary objectives is to allow sharing of ISRO's facilities and expertise with the private sector. This is correct, because as I told you that all the non-governmental private entities, their participation and their authorization will be taken care of by InSpace. So that's why it is Indian National Space Authorization Center. So that's why you have to understand that it has a very, very important role in this segment. So Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. So these two are correct. Third statement is InSpace is responsible for the operationalization of the PSLV and GSLV launch vehicles for commercial launches. Now this is wrong. It is not related to the operationalization of, so it is nothing to do with the operations of PSLVs and GSLVs. It's just about how the non-governmental private entities will be taken care of by ISRO and how they would be helped further in the growth of Indian space sector. So that's why this is a wrong statement. So only two statements are correct. So correct answer will be B. The third question. Which of the following sources are considered natural sources from where methane based fuel can be extracted? Now why this question? Because again we have a news article in today's Indian Express. Scientists release findings of second biggest man-made methane leak. What happened? Impact on the environment. Now this was a news which we have been discussing since December, where we saw that an exploration well which is in Kazakhstan, it caused a fire which raged between June and December of 2023 and released a total of 1,27,000 tons of methane into the atmosphere. And that's why it has been in the news since then. So now we are talking about the natural sources or the natural reservoirs of methane that in one way or the other we have been using as a source for fuel. So this is what the question is related to. Which of the following sources are considered natural sources from where methane based fuel can be extracted? First, natural gas reservoirs, coal beds, biogas from anaerobic digestion, methane hydrates, and thermal vent methanogenesis. Now, first is natural gas reservoirs. This is correct, and this is where all the leakages have happened from. So there are a lot of these natural gas reservoirs all across the world from where we extract natural gas or methane to be exact. So, and you might know that methane basically, when it comes to natural gas, almost 80 to 85% of natural gas is nothing but methane. So that's why it's a big source of methane. So first is correct. Second is coal beds. So we do derive methane from here, and this methane is also called as coal bed methane. So that's why this is also correct. Biogas from anaerobic digestion. This is also correct because biogas also has up to 75% composition having just methane, up to 75%. So that's why this is also correct. Methane hydrates. Now methane hydrates, which are extracted from the Arctic and Antarctic areas and also the deep oceans and also the continental shelves, they also are very big sources of methane. So this is also correct. Last one is thermal vent methanogenesis. There is nothing called as thermal vent methanogenesis. This is just a made up word that I have given you as one of the options. So just that it looks very scientific and maybe looks like a correct answer, but this is not correct at all. There is nothing as such. There is nothing which is called as this word itself. So fifth is wrong. So correct answer will be C, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The next question, consider the following statements about the Samudrayaan mission. Now why Samudrayaan mission? Because this was an article published in the Hindustan Times, and this article is about India's Samudrayaan set to explore ocean bed by 2025 end, as Kiran Rijiju has said. Now look at the question. Consider the following statements about the Samudrayaan mission. The Samudrayaan mission is a joint initiative by ISRO and DRDO. It aims to send a crewed ocean exploration vehicle to the deepest part of the ocean. Now, the first statement is wrong. This is not a correct statement. If you look at the Samudrayaan mission, it is an initiative by the National Institute of Ocean Technology under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. So that's why it has nothing to do with DRDO or ISRO at all. So that's why this is wrong. So first statement is wrong. Second is it aims to send the crewed ocean exploration vehicle to the deepest part of the ocean. This is correct. And the name of the ocean has been given as Matsya. The name of the vehicle is Matsya, and this is going to go in this. So this is correct. The mission is a part of India's deep ocean exploration efforts under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. This is correct. So statement number 2 and 3 are correct. So correct answer will be B. Now let's also look at, so that's why the name is Matsya, and this is for the exploration of the deep oceans. Now let's also look at one of the previous year questions, because we have been talking about methane and carbon emissions. So in that context, I've taken this. What is blue carbon? This was asked in your 2021 paper. Carbon captured by oceans and coastal ecosystems. This actually is correct. This is what we call as blue carbon, because it is related to blue economy and how it is related to the entire segment of this blue economy. Carbon sequestered from forest and biomass or agricultural soil is wrong. Contained in petroleum and natural gas, this is wrong. This is mostly also associated with something called as black carbon. So that's why this is also wrong, and carbon present in the atmosphere is also not correct. So correct answer here will be A. Now lastly, also let's look at fact of the day. And here we are talking about Indian egrets. And why about Indian egrets? Because today, if you look at the Hindu newspaper, the last page of the photo section that you have on Sundays, it has basically captured various water birds of India, and which are found in various different places. So that is why here we are talking about the egrets, which are one of the most important types of herons which are found in most parts of the India, and especially in the rivers or the wetlands, or also different bodies of water, like even the lakes, for example, they're found. So that's why they are very crucial. And there are certain features that you should know of, that these are the features associated with these egrets or herons. That first and foremost, they would have a long beak. So as you can see here, they have a long beak. Similarly, at the same time, you'll see that they would also have a long neck, and they would have long legs. So these three, plus they have a flat forehead. So these are some of the characteristics which are very, very important with regards to identifying any egret or any herons. So that's why they are known for their elegant wide plumage, long necks, and also slender legs. And they can feed on a variety of aquatic animals, including the fish, frogs, and insects. And they are often seen standing still in water, waiting to spear the prey with their sharp beaks. So in this case, you will see that they are also very, very important for the aquatic ecosystems. They play a very, very important role in maintaining the food ecosystem of these aquatic systems, and that's why they play a very, very important role. And that's why we also see that there are certain conservation efforts also being made to ensure their population's safety. So this is about the Indian egrets. So this is all about today's session. These were some of the questions that were from the relevant articles that we saw all across the newspapers. I hope that this session helps you. Thank you very much for being here.